Close your eyes with me for a moment. Imagine a world where food is never scarce, water is clean and lead-free and easily accessed by everyone, regardless of race, income level, or creed. Imagine a world where we don't fear our neighbors and welcome people into our homes and lives without fear for our security. Imagine a world where women don't look at their bodies as sites of displeasure. Self-hatred is unthinkable. Rape culture, inconceivable. And social media could never operate as tools of oppression or as mouthpieces for hatred and racism. Open your eyes. For that world to come to life, we need to empower young people to see themselves as agents of change. And more than that, we need to focus on the groups of young people, the young women who've been left behind, and reposition them as equals, as capable thinkers and doers, or present-day agents of change. But you see, the stuff of our present day, the way we communicate, the way we access information, it all hinges on technology. Technology is the foundation of business, of communication, of globalization, and it's becoming the foundation of education. Young people spend more and more time looking at screens. We text, we post, we hashtag, we emoji, we Snapchat, we pay our bills online, we collaborate online, we store our lives on our computers or in the cloud. To be a part of the world today requires some familiarity with technology. But to be a shaper of the world tomorrow requires engagement in the creation of that technology. Today, only 25% of our computing workforce are women. Think about that for a moment. Despite the fact that women are more likely to graduate from college, only 20% of bachelors in computer science go to women. What might be holding them back? There's a quote that I like to think about by Marianne Williamson, a spiritual teacher and best-selling author, and it goes like this. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. You see, it's this first part of the quote that confuses me. You know, if I believed I was powerful and brilliant and talented, why would that scare me? You see, I don't believe it's our light that most frightens us. I believe it's the darkness that surrounds our light. I believe that we are fearful of the things that we might fail at doing, and because we are fearful of failure, we don't even try. As a little girl growing up in Jamaica, I was a confident young woman. I believed that whatever I wanted to do in the world, I could do. I wanted to go to Harvard Law School. I wanted to be a lawyer, mostly because I wanted to one-up my cousin. But then I got into grade 7 around age 10, and I unconsciously started grooming uncertainty about who I was. And don't get me wrong, relatively speaking, I was a pretty confident student. But there were these questions about my purpose in life and my place in the world. When I got to Stanford, I grew more and more uncertain about that purpose, the reasons behind the seemingly rhythmic rise and fall of my days, the growing certainty that I would fail badly in the presence of these brilliant thinkers of my Stanford freshman class. And don't get me wrong, I felt extremely privileged to be included in this class of wild and revolutionary thinkers. At Stanford, I pushed myself beyond the norms of my thinking and into the depths of multivariable calculus and econometrics. But much of it didn't come easy, and I kept asking myself, why? Why am I doing this to myself? I felt far removed from the real-life issues that should demand my full attention. And I was fearful of pursuing them beyond the ivory tower of academia. I thought about my middle-class upbringing, comfortable and sheltered, and my upper-class education in palatial spaces and Hoover Tower skyscrapers built on billion-dollar endowments. There we read deeply about social injustice, explicit and implicit racism, feminism, and the almighty America. And there we closed our books. My decision to go to Mukono, Uganda, to study the impact of microfinance on women's empowerment was a difficult one. Microfinance is the provision of loans and other banking services to the world's extreme poor. And it was once proclaimed to be our cure to world poverty. And I wanted to see if people's lives were really being shifted under this new banking paradigm. What started out as an exploration of microfinance and women's empowerment turned into over 100 profiles of their lives. I documented the slowly transitioning lives of the world's extreme poor, making every effort to shade into color their perspectives. My neo-colonialist view of what constituted wealth and happiness and success collapsed. My understanding of joy, of work, of purpose changed because of them. I found shining examples of bravery and overwhelming hope, a sense of gratitude, alongside bemoaning poverty. Yes, things are bad, but today I have food. Yes, life is challenging, but tomorrow my child will go to school. And here was a big finding for me. Most of the residents of Mukono could not afford to send their children to the free public schools because uniforms and school materials were expensive. But these women receiving microfinance loans could pull their children out of the poorly performing public schools and place them in the marginally better private schools. You see, to them, education was their savings account, their ticket out of poverty. There was one story in particular that stuck with me, and this was Harriet's story. She was a single mother. She had a business providing food, supplies, and snacks to school in her local district. And she received a loan of approximately $97 to expand her business, and that she did. And she took her additional income and she used it to fund her child's private education. And I asked her, how do you feel about your life now that you received these loans? And she said to me she felt tense. It was hard managing a business and taking care of your child all on your own with little child support, a balancing act many women today can empathize with. And then she said, but my life is better now she can go to school. This is why I work, so she can learn. You see, to Harriet, her child's education was more than a worthy investment. It was vital. Over 95% of microfinance loans are given to women. Why? Well, partly because women's repayment rates are higher than that of men, but also because women are more likely to reinvest their additional income into their household, into their children. Research has shown that preferences for education are gender-related. So if you give a woman a loan, it is more likely that she will reinvest that into her household. And this has an impact on the rate of human capital formation within a community. So think about it. Imagine hundreds of thousands of young women, the poorest of the poor, reinvesting their additional income into their children so that their sons and daughters have opportunities that they never had. Behold the potential of woman power. So what did I learn from Mukono, Uganda? 1, women may just be the largest under-tapped resource in history. And 2, education is the foundation of our future. Fast forward 6 years, I have left Stanford. I am now a PhD student in the School of Education and Social Policy at Northwestern studying learning sciences. I'm a member of the Delta Lab, an interdisciplinary research studio and design lab, and I'm a member of the Global Shapers community, the youth arm of the World Economic Forum. My experiences as a young Jamaican girl, confident yet uncertain about her purpose in life, and the life lessons learned from the brave and resilient women from Mukono, Uganda have brought me here. Here I am learning that's not just about passing standardized tests, but learning as a way of being and doing, about communities of practice that shape and reshape modes of expression. In the Delta Lab, I'm learning about socio-technical systems, the technology that supports the social world and the social world that gives meaning to that technology. I'm learning about access and equity and the gaps in achievement that are predicated on middle-class norms and values. I'm learning about the brilliance of Brazilian children who learn mathematics by selling candy in the streets. I'm learning about youth voice and efficacy and the building of social movements and the technologies we use to facilitate social impact. And I've taken all that I've learned and co-founded Brave Initiatives. Brave Initiatives is a nonprofit that teaches high school girls to view themselves as agents of change. And we do this in a 5-day coding camp we call Brave Camp. We teach our young women to think through complex social issues like cyberbullying, segregation, and racism by first teaching them that they are powerful enough, brave enough, and smart enough to make a difference in the world. Our girls learn coding, design thinking, public speaking, and leadership. Our mission is to create social impact through design thinking and tech empowerment. We encourage our young women to see themselves as capable coders and tune them into the community issues that they might normally ignore or accept as status quo. We aim to agitate them into being social change makers and community development engineers. And our focus on girls is deliberate. Why? Remember that statistic I told you earlier. 25% of our computing workforce are women. Okay, so let's take a step back for a moment. Imagine, by middle school, girls lose interest in sports, in mathematics, in science. By high school, major differences in girls' interests and boys' interests emerge. Only 30% of young girls at this age are interested in pursuing computer science at the college level, whereas that number for boys, 74%. At the college level, only 20% of young women are interested in pursuing computer science as a major, whereas that number for boys, 50%. So why is it that girls are either not opting in or dropping out? Research has shown that there are 3 major factors that prevent girls from choosing computing at a higher level. 1, low self-efficacy or lack of confidence in one's skills. Girls don't believe that they have the ability or the talent to code, so they don't pursue it. 2, lack of relevancy or community impact. Girls want to make a difference in their communities. They want to connect with people. And to them, coding is seen as an isolating activity, an activity that's disconnected from community. And 3, lack of supportive communities. Girls do not see themselves in the community of coders, as technologists, as mentors, as women of color. And as a result, they don't get the support that they need to stay in a competitive classroom. And we come full circle. Only 25% of our computing workforce are women. And we haven't even started talking about women of color. Only 3% of our computing workforce are Black women. 5% are Asian, and just 2% are Hispanic. Our Brave Camps address this gender and equity imbalance by building technical self-efficacy and sparking a curiosity for coding in a diverse community of like-minded and driven peers. We recruit participants from the many diverse and under-resourced communities across Illinois. Our girls learn HTML and CSS, how to prototype, how to effectively communicate their ideas to an audience, and most importantly, they are engaged in the self-efficacy exercises that encourage them to think about their purpose in life and their visions for their futures. All along a young girl's life, society is shaping what she becomes interested in, how she views success, what her views of her capabilities are. And the truth is, we're losing girls in some really impactful fields. Beyond computer science and into the nation's Fortune 500 companies, only 5% of CEOs are women. Beyond the nation's Fortune 500 companies and into your government, only 20% of your senators are women, and 19% of your House of Representatives are women. This is why we created Brave Camp. Meet Carlin and Jessica, the 2 women in the middle, flanked on their left and right by their coaches, Amy and Sarah. Carlin and Jessica created Get Your Food On at our Brave Camp. And essentially, it's a website to help young women build healthy eating habits early. It's a game. So imagine your young child goes, or sister or brother, goes into the cafeteria and picks the apple over Jell-O, banana over pudding, just so that they can be the winner of Get Your Food On. Carlin and Jessica are thinking about taking this to the next level. They're thinking about partnerships, user interface design, potential premium packages, and we are so proud of them. We have seen dramatic changes in how girls view themselves as community leaders, as coders, as designers. Another one of our young women said this: I learned that you can be the designer of your own future. In order to be successful, You have to be innovative and know how to employ the concepts of design thinking into anything you do. And most of all, I learned that when you have an idea, you need to be brave and step out of your comfort zone. And the best reward for being brave is that you get to help not only yourself, but others. You see, this is not just a bid to get girls into STEM. This is a bid to get girls a seat at the table on the world stage. As youth, we have a responsibility to engage in the hard realities, the debilitating realities that make our lives less joyous, less prosperous, less fulfilling. I believe in education. It's our savings account, our ticket out of poverty. I believe in chain reactions, where one project that affects one group of people positively exponentially spreads positivity across the world. I believe in Brave Camp. As Marianne Williamson says, we are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in all of us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So, when you come across a young girl and she's forgotten about her awesome potential, tell her that she is braver than she believes. She is stronger than she seems. She is smarter than she thinks, and twice as beautiful as she imagined. Thank you.